And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the market recap. Tuesday, June the 21st, longest day of sunlight in the northern hemisphere. It's the summer solstice. Hope you had an interesting and challenging trading day, and most of all, a successful and profitable trading day. Certainly was an interesting one. A couple of things may have missed this morning on the S&P chart and the NASDAQ chart that may have made a difference for us. Gotta fess up to it. We'll see that on the charts as we go through the recap here today. But overall, it looks like, according to the Department of Transportation, approximately 42 million people are expected to hit the roads this 4th of July weekend, despite the high gas prices. That might even be a record. Apparently, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, says recession, mass layoffs, and high unemployment are necessary to get the worst inflation over 40 years under control. Now, that's who President Biden spoke to before President Biden spoke to us and said, well, a recession is not necessarily inevitable. Today, we did see stocks jump a little bit to the upside, not as strong as maybe some would have hoped, but we did close in the Dow approximately 1.2% higher, even the S&P is 1.3% higher, NASDAQ 1.2% higher. Was hoping for some continuation to the upside, so maybe we could put in a late spike and have that reference for us tomorrow, but no such luck. As far as the rest of the markets, like crude oil, indecision kind of remains as price leaks a little bit higher. Even the S&Ps, an island bottom formed. We missed that this morning. My apologies. Prices rise while shorts kind of cover. We have a P-shaped profile today. It's indicative of shorts covering. We might see a little bit of a drop in open interest. Well, we're going to see a drop in open interest in our equities tomorrow because the June contract is going to settle today. So we're going to see what the September open interest looks like tomorrow. If we see a drop, then we certainly can expect to have seen some short covering today. I thought the volume was a little bit weak today as well. We'll see that. NASDAQ, same thing, island bottom, short covering day. Gold, short time frame balance continues and controls and remains. It's kind of a yawner today, a little bit to the downside here. And no major changes in market state there, of course. The euro, low volume, little short time frame control remains, just very similar to the situation in gold. The 10-year overnight high and low maintain range for the regular trading hour range. I don't remember if we talked about that this morning, but I know in one or a couple of these markets, I was really kind of focused on the overnight high and overnight low for opportunities. A very small range, not a big opportunity in the 10 years today. And the nat gas, no island low as prices have firmed up and closed the gap to last week's low. So again, we're going to see all that on the charts here this afternoon. Get my notes out of the way here. Again, hopefully you had a profitable trading day. I thought today was a little bit tough. We had a couple of losses in Make Hogue Money, and that's okay. We maybe missed a couple of things this morning that may have made a difference to us. We'll be very careful to make sure we do our homework, and I do my homework every day. And still, when it came to the equities, when I was finished with my homework, I just had this nagging feeling like I was missing something, and sure enough, I was. So make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome on the recap. And gonna say good afternoon, everyone. Tachyon up 50 for the trading combine, too choppy for his taste. Also felt like I was trading overnight session. Green Day. Absolutely hoping for better trading tomorrow. And I see James Swan. It's had a rough 4 days. You're not failing miserably. You just haven't succeeded yet. And, they say that failing is part of success. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, level yourself out. I like to think of it kind of as a centering. Just bring yourself back to center, take a deep breath, let go of any venom that remains from this session today, and look forward to accepting the market's information tomorrow. I believe these markets are telling us what they're attempting to do, and it's up to us to really try and decipher that. George, good afternoon. Hey, Lacey, George is here. He says hi. He was looking for you earlier. Frederico, Spencer, good afternoon. Vince, good afternoon to you, Vince. I'm glad you finished the day on a positive today. That makes me feel good. Richie B, very hot today in Tennessee. No trades for me. Front ran my entry point. Well, that's okay. Rather kind of miss a trade and demand good trade location than get in too early and get stopped out anyway, and then have the trade play out in your favor anyway. That irks me. I'm sure it irks you too. Steve Roginski on gold. I bought 50 ounces of gold in 2007 for about $6.50 an ounce, U.S. gold coins. They've tripled in value, but that's a long time. I doubt if they'll ever double from here in my lifetime. Well, Steve, I don't know how old you are, but I never thought I'd see gold trading 2,000. I bet you never thought you would either. You never know, and you've got them bought good, so nothing wrong with hanging on to them. But that's a really good position there. Tiavi, hello. Feel you too. Nicholas, good afternoon. Anthony J had two great shorts on NVIDIA and Meta. Day trading some stocks there. Hope all is well with you as well, Anthony. So, there's always some good, some bad. I don't have winning days. I don't have winning trades all the time. I just try and chalk it up to, well, there's something else that I need to learn. What did I miss on this one? And, there's always more to learn. And once you get the right answers, the market's going to change the questions. It's always a challenge. Don't let it get you down. And just look for a better trading day tomorrow. Let's take a look here at the markets as they finished up the day. I've got my notes from this morning. Typical kind of Monday trade for me. I was slow getting into it. Missed something this morning. It doesn't happen that often, but hey, it's bound to happen. Let's take a look. Here's the daily in crude. So this push to the downside on Friday with additional open interest indicated some short bets. Market's not going to go in one direction the whole time. That's for sure. I had a pretty rotational day today in crude oil. Here's what it looked like on the 30. Opening with a gap, we ended up closing the gap at one point, but the gap was kind of somewhat supportive. We opened, we looked higher, we looked lower, closing the gap, just kind of rotation. We did move value higher. That's going to be important, perhaps. We do see a potential for a bear flag here tomorrow morning. I'll put my trend lines up here because, as we see, the market's been moving lower over time. If we start cutting off volume on these small ranges to the opposite direction, it may end up turning out to be a bear flag. Of course, we know we had low volume yesterday, kind of low volume today as well, but we're still in somewhat of the teeth of rollover expirations. Last trading day is, I think, tomorrow, so we won't have to worry about that anymore. But I think we had some pretty low volume today. Take a look at the S&Ps. What a goofball I am. Here's the daily. So coming off open interest, adding 4,500 on Friday, 45,000, I should say. Again, possibly still a function of rollover. It was expired on Friday and settled today, so we're going to see a big drop in open interest today. We'll focus on the September contract for open interest tomorrow, and then we'll go back to viewing the entire total open interest from all of the contracts. But today we got a nice push to the upside. Now, what did I miss? This was pointed out to me by my good friend and fellow trader Greg. So here's a gap. We gapped open to Thursday. Friday we had basically the same range. Yesterday, if you even count it, then we gapped away from it. So this all looks like gap to this and gap away. This all looks like a island low. We gapped to it. 3 days, we gapped away from it. What did that create for us today? Well, with this P-shaped profile, this is indicating short covering more than new buying coming in above our island bottom here. This might have been able to tell us earlier, especially when the opening range remained the low of the session, that buyers might remain in control. This is a reversal pattern here. The island low can be a powerful reversal pattern. So when we opened and left the opening range to the upside, we probably should have been buying right off the open in make-hog money. Didn't catch this though. It's kind of overlapping here. We were kind of focused on what yesterday was going to do, if anything. I don't even really count yesterday because of the lack of volume. So if we take, see if I can do this. It's not going to let me because it's underneath. There we go. So if we take that off, now we see our island bottom with much more clarity. So we have to see how this market reacts tomorrow. If we lost open interest, I know we had a little bit of low volume today, even in New York, low volume on a breakout above a major reversal pattern. So I don't know. We're going to have to see what that open interest looks like tomorrow in that September contract. Same thing happened in the NASDAQ. Okay, we've got a potential bull bear flag here. We were looking at that in the S&Ps as well. We broke out above it. Opening range, I believe, was the low of the session. Here's our island low. Gapped to it. Gapped away from it. That's an island low. Again, another P-shaped profile indicating short covering. Not necessarily new buying coming in. For this to really be a bottom, we're going to have to find some new buyers, some new business up here to try and push this market even yet higher. So if we lose open interest, which I'm suspecting we're going to, because this is a P-shaped profile. Again, it's a short covering shape of a profile. You can see it over here. Looks more like a Q over here, but still just all that volume at the top of the profile indicates shorts trapped, just trying to get out without moving price. All right. Gold. Okay, here we are. Still range bound. Still in short time frame control. Mild volume today. Nothing tremendous. 30. Open. Traded above yesterday's regular trading hour session high. Short time frame level or target. Traded down to the overnight low, as well as this point of control back here. Short time frame levels being respected. short time frame control. We have to just wait and see how this plays out. Euro is really kind of the same situation. We're centrally located between weekly kickoff high and low, inside last week's high and low. Here's the 30. The market opens, trades up, above value from Thursday, doesn't get the point of control from Thursday, comes back down, trades right down to value low from yesterday. Or if you want, you can just call that a naked point of control check from yesterday. Not a lot of big opportunities. It's only Tuesday. We've got 3 days a week. We know it's a short week and there's not a lot of economic and information. So we're going to be just kind of trading what we see. Here's the 10-year. Boy, oh boy, just kind of dying, just kind of flopped and not doing much of anything. Apparently rates already in the market. We looked at our overnight high as potential. We looked at our overnight low for potential. We traded to our overnight high over it by a tick. Missed the overnight low by a tick, but not a lot of big opportunity here. Opportunity nonetheless. Just have to keep our expectations reasonable when markets are like that. So here's the nat gas. Yesterday's very small range, very small volume, but a gap. We've now closed that gap, so we're not going to be really looking at any island lows here. Low volume today on this move back to the upside. A little bit more volatility though. The market opened, spent a couple hours flopping around, and then once we took out the initial balance, which was up here, that high of that initial balance became support. What does that tell me? It tells me that we may be looking at short time frame control here. Here's last week's low, weekly kickoffs below, but we did manage to close this gap. So any sign of a island bottom is now out. So with the low volume, somewhat of a directional day, with a bit of a P-shaped profile, I'm going to really be fascinated on checking open interest in all of these markets tomorrow, because there wasn't anything decisive. There wasn't anything big. There wasn't anything market state changing. Nothing happened like that. So we're going to be looking at those internals, that volume, that open interest, and just to see if we can decipher what direction the market is attempting to go, and if it's doing a good job in going in that direction. So 61, not selling the gold. Everything give it to your grandkids. That's very nice, Steve. I'll send you my address. Only kidding. You give that to your grandkids. They'll appreciate it one day. Anthony's been paper trading futures. Good. Welcome to the world of futures trading. It's nice to see that you're here and that you're checking it out. Nice job in your day trading in stocks. Looking forward to seeing you succeeding here. Nicholas, what is the name of the artist that did the drawing of the pit behind you? Hang on. I can tell you in just a moment. Give me a second. Okay, I wasn't able to find it on this search. I know I've seen it before, and I will find out for you. I'll write this down so that I don't forget, and I should be able to tell you tomorrow morning on either the forecast or tomorrow afternoon on the recap. Can't remember his name. It's not on there. It might be underneath the mat that surrounds it, but I will find out for you, Nicholas. Right. Today is a pretty big day in history. The Constitution, as we know it, was ratified on this day, June 21st, 1788. Seems like a long time after our independence, but there were Revolutionary War Articles of Confederation. There were some holes in there, so they had the Constitutional Convention, and it was signed by 38 of the 41 delegates present. So, big day. The signing of the day of the Constitution of the United States. What a wonderful document. Trying to keep things positive. In 1810, Zachary Taylor got married, and Richard Nixon also got married on that day. I don't know the date, but the year, but 1965, Mr. Tambourine Man is released. The Byrds' debut album starts the beginning of the folk rock revolution. What else happened in music on this day? 1948, the vinyl disc came out. That was the 33 and a third revolutions per minute. That was the standard forever until the digital age had to kill it, but I still have a whole bunch of my vinyl, and I hope you do too. I like listening to my vinyl. Today's Ray Davies' birthday. If you know Ray Davies, he was one of the Kinks. 1945, Chris Britton was born, a guitarist with the band The Trogs, who we all know with the song Wild Thing. 1966, today, Jimmy Page's debut with the Yardbirds at the Marquee Club Lounge. He was really just finishing some contractual agreements for the Yardbirds before he was going to go start the new Yardbirds, also known as Led Zeppelin. Nils Lofgren, it's his birthday today, born in 1951. 1975, Richie Blackmore quit Deep Purple to form his own group, Rainbow, on this day. (1981) Brandon Flowers of The Killers, it's his birthday today. Today's the day People magazine reported that 75-year-old Glenn Campbell had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. You gotta love Glenn Campbell. And that's about it for all that noise. Vince, it's your birthday. Well, I would have baked a cake. I didn't know that. Happy birthday, Vince. Finally 21. We can drink together. All right. All right. Well, Vince, man, I wish you'd have told me. Maybe find something I can send you. Well, God bless you, Vince. God bless you all. Let's call this a a recap. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the market forecast with a much sharper eye for us all tomorrow morning. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, say a prayer for world peace, and get a good night's sleep. And we'll be back working hard again at this tomorrow. Brian Hardwork Hogan. I started the combine today and ended up behind. When I switched to sim, I won 100%. Why does this repeatedly happen to me? Brian Hardwork Hogan. It's human nature. When you're in a sim, a random sim account, whatever it is, there's no accountability, there's no consequence, there's no risk, there's no rules. It becomes much easier to make trading decisions. None of it matters. Getting into a trading combine raises that bar a little bit. It adds a little bit of duress. It adds a little of the feeling of real risk, and that's why it's so difficult. I suggest tomorrow, Brian, if you want to, I have an explanation of why I believe that happens and why it will continue to happen as you get further through the trading combine and into a funded account. Every step up, there's a little bit more risk. It makes it hard to make the same trading decisions. So if you have a strategy that's working in sim, you move to the trading combine, you follow that strategy to a T if you can, but it just makes things a little bit more difficult to make those hard decisions. We've had some really good conversations about that, and I hope that you can join us tomorrow for group coaching. Here's a link so you can register for it. And I will look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. I'll look for you. If you're there, we'll definitely have a discussion about this. Dom, yours is on the 3rd. You have plenty of time to make me a cake. My pleasure, Bill. My pleasure, Vince. Dom, if I was going to be here on the 3rd, I would bake you a cake. I would bake you a cake. You know, that's my wife's birthday, too. It's also Tom Cruise's birthday. She likes to remind me of that every year on her birthday. But, Dom, if you're anything like my wife, you don't have a birthday. You have a birth month. But I'll try and remember to tell you happy birthday on the last day of June, because that's going to be it for me for a little while. All right. You'll be there. All right, Brian. Good to know. So I got to find the artist. He did all kinds of pit pictures. And bake a cake for Dom. And yeah, you always get fireworks, and you always have the day after your birthday off. So find the picture, find the artist of this picture, and I just can't remember it right now. Brian, we're going to talk about the graduation of difficult decisions. Yeah, I hope I'm going to be able to read this. All right. And I will see you all tomorrow morning. Again, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. Take a moment to say a prayer for world peace. See you tomorrow morning on the market forecast. Thanks again for joining me and hanging out for a little while after the close. You had a good night's sleep, and we'll see you in the morning.